it's long-term.
Well, that intrinsic value that you talked about is there, and there are a lot of motivations, but that long-term sort of approach is the wise way to go. Well, good. Well, Mike, the job you do on behalf of the realtors out there is appreciated, and on the part of the public as well, in terms of protecting the public. You guys do a great job with that, and for wearing that hat and carrying that torch. Thank you for doing that for the industry.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. We're going to close this segment here. Can you give the folks that contact information if they need to contact SCORE or, lodge a complaint against an agent?
The best number is our main number, which is 408-445-8500. And there'll be someone to direct that person to whatever different department that they need.
And they can also get housing statistics online?
We have that. We make that available. There'll be people that will be able they can contact people at the board that will be able to assist them in anything that they need.
Perfect.
Terrific. Well, Mike, thanks for being our guest today. And
well, thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah, we appreciate very much the time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really? That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'm going to show you this dance. In la keg, a la king. The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience. To all the Peace Corps volunteers, past, present, and future, thank you for your service to your country and the world.
Is that thing getting closer? Look how high that thing's going. Look out there, look at the debris. Give me the camera. No, just drive, I've got it. Zoom in, zoom in. I can't believe this is happening. Oh, what size is that thing? It's everywhere. Are you getting this? Yeah, I've got it. What was that? It's the National Guard. How'd they get here so fast? I don't know. Pull over. Pull over.
Do you have what it takes to head into the heart of the storm? Check out NationalGuard.com.
welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Valley Homes on TV, the Milpitas edition.
We're still on Channel 26.
Still there.
Still there.
Every week.
Every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. There we go. Got it right.
There you go. Join us. And
Mike is sharp, Mike Sibilia. That was an incredible presentation he gave from the Board of Realtors. So.
Well, there are some very, very high-level professional realtors that, look out for the best interest of the public, and that was what Mike represents.
And the board, they break down, they have different committees. They have the ethics committee, they've got legislation committee, political action committee, local government relations. There's a public relations, I think, committee. So a number of the members of the board sit on those committees too. So it's quite a big operation.
Well, that's why it's important for folks to ask if their real estate professional is a realtor, because that will show the commitment to the level of professionalism and the code of ethics.
Yes, absolutely.
And, anybody else, you're taking your chances.
Yep.
So.
Wow, what's going on with? Let's see. Let's talk about the
interest rates.
Yeah,
and the market.
And the market.
Well, the interest rate market. If folks have been watching it, they are aware the interest rates have been on the rise. They're about 1% higher than they were at their lows back in December. So over the last month or two, we're up about 1%. And
what's the factor for that?
Well, one of the catalysts of that, we've talked on the show before about QE2, right? The Federal Reserve's policy of buying Treasury bonds, and it's kind of as a way to help stimulate the economy. QE2 had three main purposes that were stated by the Fed. One was to really boost the stock market. And we've seen that. The stock market has rallied.
Definitely recovered.
We're up over 12,000
I
here
think
recently.
they said that it's over the 2007 high.
Right.
Right now.
So we've seen a rebound in
A
that.
rebound,
So QE2 has helped to meet that objective. The other objective has been to give a boost to employment or lower the unemployment rate. Before going into QE2, we were about 9.6. Most recent unemployment rate was released at 9%. So we're starting to see some hope on the horizon in terms of employment. So
Okay.
it's having that effect. The other
Now, those employment numbers, are they local, Todd, or is it?
that's a national
National
number.
app,
That's
okay.
a national number. And the Fed, sets national policy,
Correct,
right?
correct, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll trend with that as well.
Okay.
The other item that was there with the Fed's desired impact and outcome from QE2 was to stimulate a little bit of inflation. We've been in a very low inflationary environment, 1% to 2%, which is under the norm. Usually, 3 to 4% is kind of the Fed target. And so we're starting to see that.
Right.
Folks will see that.
And we
at the
predicted that.
Yes.
We talked about that last
Yeah,
year.
you're going to see it at the gas pump, you're going to see it at the grocery store, and folks are starting to feel that a little bit. And all three of those factors are enemies of bonds. All right, the bond market is where we get our money for mortgages.
Okay.
All right, and so
So that puts pressure on that.
exactly.
That
and
pendulum's going to fall, and you're going to see higher interest rates.
Exactly.
So, what are we going to see the rates continue to climb, or?
We've hit a kind of a level in the market here. It'll be interesting. We're at a critical point. Are we going to kind of stay at this level? We saw last spring, that rates were right about the same level they are now before they dipped. And so we're going to see if the market can hold that. If not, we're going to see rates continue to creep up, I think, a little bit as we head in towards the summer. My hope is that we kind of hold at this current level. And rates still are real good, conforming 30-year fixed rate
Are you
loan.
still having a lot of refinance activity, or has that slowed down now?
It has slowed down a little bit. Kind of the magic number for refinances seems to be below 5%. And we've just inched up over 5%. We're about
Okay.
5 1/8 today.
Okay.
APR is 5.331 for a conforming
Okay.
30-year loan. But still, historically, that is a great interest rate.
Do you think the loan limits will change at all? It's at 417 for the
conforming loan?
and do you see that at all on the horizon?
No, because that is tied to a national statistics in terms of home prices.
Right.
All right. And,
And those have been flat.
Those have been
or
flat. And so
depressed.
so I anticipate that we're going to probably see the conforming loan limit stay the same as we move forward. Typically, each year that number gets reset, and it's been the same now for the last 3 or 4 years. We also have this jumbo conforming, which goes up to 729,000. All right, and both of those loans are backed by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, eligible for resale in that secondary market, and get that government stamp of approval on them. So those two loan limits, I think going forward, we're going to see those for a bit here.
I think one of the interesting comments I'd like to make out of your report is after April 1st, the buyers may need 25% down.
Well,
as
we're
opposed
seeing
to
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They really write the rules for underwriting on the loans that they're going to buy, and they're tightening those guidelines again. Every 6 months, they relook at their guidelines. And so the best rates now are going to require at least a 740 credit score, all right, and 25% down payment. Doesn't mean that you can't get financing with a lower credit or with a lower down payment. It just means that it's going to cost you more, all right, in terms of interest rate for that. So again, when you hear the advertisements on TV or the radio about interest rates, those are the ones that they're talking about. The A+ gold-plated credit rating with plenty of equity.
Okay.
And so it's important to check out what your situation is, so you have the proper expectations about what credit's going to cost you. So, things in the market still are good in terms of the purchase market. I know you've been seeing a lot of foot traffic at your open houses.
Tons. Had some this past weekend, and then of course I've got 2 more coming up this weekend. I had 26 different groups through just Saturday it was, because Sunday was Super Bowl. I thought that was really good, and So I see what this weekend's going to bring. A lot of people looking, not quite, they're still on the fence, what's going to happen with their jobs,
What's happening with interest rates?
Interest rates and a lot of, or waiting for more inventory to come up at the, that's at the spring buying season, so.
Well, that's historically what happens. As the weather warms up, we see more homes come on the market. There's been a lot in the media about, pending foreclosures and perhaps shadow inventory as well. And so I think people hear that. But, as I look at it, it's still a great time to buy in the market. As Mike pointed out earlier, it's about that value proposition.
And buying the home and, Yep.
So
Well,
what are the statistics?
Let me get real quick, the statistics. Single family, today, 73 pending sales, 62 active, 125 closed in the last 6 months, of which 61 of those are under 500,000. And then if you want to look at what a year ago had, 96 pending, 41 active, 137 closed sales, and 79 of those were under 500,000. So constant trend of more and more inventory coming on the market, and sales are still, pending sales are still good, very good. Townhomes, off the chart, 54 pending sales, 46 active, and 70 closed in the last 6 months. A year ago, we had 69 pending, 23 active, and 50 closed in the last 6 months. So double the inventory. That's not good for the pricing. I think the condominium market is still going to be flat for quite a while.
Well, as we've talked on this show before too, the financing guidelines on a condo are a little bit stricter as well. What's happening in the homeowners association.
I have a property now that it's actually the homeowners association is in litigation. So that has just been disastrous for those values there. Folks just are going to have to go in for the long haul once that's lifted. So
right, and that will impact your ability to get a loan. If there's a lawsuit pending against a homeowners association, you may not be able to get that property financed.
Yep.
So I think, that definitely is impacting the townhome market as again, the guidelines continue to be very, very strict for financing.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, good show today, Debbie.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad we brought Mike in and talked about the real estate board and everything they've got going on there. And
terrific. So where do folks get in contact with you if they have questions about the market, about the show?
About the show. Giordano, GIORDANODJ at AOL.com. You can email me questions, and we'd be happy to talk about them right here at Valley Homes on TV.
Terrific. And questions about financing, I'd be happy to answer those at Todd, T-O-D-D, at sternmortgage.com, S-T-E-R-N, and then the word mortgage spelled out, .com.
Very good.
So terrific. Till next time.
Enjoy the weather.
It's been gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. See you in a
that's why we live here in Milpitas.
Yes, we do. See you in a couple of weeks, Todd. Thanks very much.
All right,
good to see you.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really? That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'm gonna show you this dance. In la keg, a la king. The classroom was more of a class tent. Think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by